Welcome back, everybody, to Kind Inside the Treatment Room. We are here today with the beautiful Roz from the Pilates Co. Roz, how are you feeling?
Feeling good.
Good. You're excited to get
Already
your facial
relaxed.
done?
Yeah,
Beautiful.
very much.
So before we get into the questions, I do want to just assess your skin. So we spoke a little bit off camera, but we have just come back from a bit of an adventure weekend. So you've got a bit of windburn in your skin. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm doing windburn.
Yeah. Is it stinging at all?
Not too bad. Just feels a little bit dry, and I think I'm over the stinging phase.
Okay.
And then, like cold nights by the fire, and then hiking in the wind, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Beautiful. So what we want to do is really nourish the skin. I think we might do a bit of a hydrofacial on you as well, because that'll help to really hydrate the skin from the inside out. But what I'm going to use is the Fit Glow range. So if you haven't, have you heard of the Fit Glow range before? No. It's very beautiful and nourishing. It does have a few actives in it, but the products that I've chosen for you are just really going to hydrate, plump, and soothe the skin, because I think that's exactly what we need for today. How does that sound?
Wonderful.
Beautiful.
That's so good.
So before we dive deep into everything about Pilates and exercise, can you tell the listeners at home a little bit more about what you do?
Well, my business, Pilates Co, has been going for just gone 10 years, but I have been in the fitness industry a long time, entering into my 35th year in the fitness industry. So I've been around for a while. Maybe one of those kind of, probably wouldn't say one of the elders in the fitness industry. I teach classes currently, so I'm quite active in seeing clients, both one-on-one, small groups, and then groups of up to 14 people. So I probably have anywhere between 15 to sort of 20 sessions a week that I do across 3 studios, 3 of my 4. And then I have a kind of a varied role amongst the studios with retailing, operations, teacher assessments. I'm kind of probably what you call a bit of a jack of all trades in the business.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about those businesses. So the Pilates Co is very well known. I haven't met a single soul who doesn't or hasn't heard about that business. But you've got another one.
Yeah, we have opened up a studio called Therapy Fitness. It's at Mermaid Waters. It's been open for about 2.5 years now. And it is a cycle studio, a run lift studio, and then a hot mat. And we are quite an immersive studio where when you come into class, it's very immersive with nightclub level music and lighting. We talk a lot to the mind and mental health aspect, not just the physical. That's going along very, very well. I don't teach at that studio, but I have a few other roles helping run that, along with my husband and 2 other business partners.
Okay. So when you talk about, connecting to the mind and the mental health state of the people that come in and who are exercising at Therapy, which I guess is hence the name Therapy Fitness. Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about why you think that's so important, because when I think about exercising, I don't just think about the fitness side of it, because I do know at the end of any class that I do, even if I'm completely ragged and sweating and hot, I just, those endorphins kick in. I feel really good about myself. Is that why you started it?
Yeah, look, even with Pilates Co, we've always been trying to move away from this picture of fitness being about the bikini body and losing weight and burning calories and all of that sort of thing. Pilates can be probably a little bit more on form and alignment and so forth, and injury prevention. But with Therapy, we really had a moment there where we knew the fitness industry was changing, and my business partners Emma and Kyle and David, my husband, we knew that we could create something pretty special with being on the mental health aspect. We actually won an award last year in the Mental Health Fitness Industry Awards. That was pretty amazing to be recognised amongst our peers. We also do breath work at that studio too, very much on stress relief and finding other ways for people to work the mind and the body.
Perfect. Yeah, because I do find that breath work is extremely important. I do talk to a couple of people that do Pilates and they're like, I just didn't understand how much breath work was involved with it. It's like, well, yeah, it's an extremely important part of it, because I do a lot of yoga when I get the chance, and it is more about the breath than the actual exercise itself. And I think people forget that aspect of it, because you need to have the correct breath technique. You can't be holding your breath and
That's
just
right.
stopping that oxygen from flowing through the body. It really is such an important part of it. So go through, first of all, with Pilates Co. We'll go back to that first. Run me through a few of the classes that you've got going on down there.
Well, as I said, I personally take privates and small groups. In that setting, we can really hone in on people's individual needs, whether they have injuries, post having a child, anything along those lines. That makes up a big part of our business. But I suppose the biggest part is the groups, where we have up to 14 people in a class. And we run beginner classes, we run strength classes, HIIT, you name it. You can kind of get all of the different types of workouts you need.
Such a mix of them, And are they all done on the reformer machine?
Yeah, combination of reformer along with different props. We also use the mat alongside the reformer. In our small group area, though, we have all of the traditional apparatus. I don't know if you've seen any of that, but you've got the Cadillac, the chair, the barrel. Probably one of the best equipped studios on the Gold Coast for variety of equipment.
And why would someone choose like reformer over the general mat Pilates?
Mat's definitely taking a resurgence at the moment. We don't do a mat in studio, but we do a number of mat classes outdoors as part of the Gold Coast Active and Healthy program. We do have a little bit of the mat side of it in the business, but not indoors, unfortunately. But the mat is really the base of going on to the reformer. It's got lots of similarities between the two, but I feel like a lot of people just love the reformer because it gives that resistance, it gives the support. Yeah, the reformer there's so many reformer studios opening. We've seen many in this area alone here at Burleigh.
Yeah, definitely.
It's become a very competitive area in the industry.
Yeah. I am a big fan of the reformer. I've got one at home and it is a workout. I'll tell you that much. Yeah. Gosh. For me, I just thought I'd dabble in it a little bit first before I go into a class, because I have heard they're just like, they sort of take your breath away a little bit with the positions and the workouts that they get you in. But it's a nice all over workout, you know, and you leave feeling quite exhausted, but then also at the same time, as I said, those endorphins are just running through the body, so you feel really good about yourself. Do you find that happens a lot with the people that come in for the classes?
Oh yeah, look, I think we do an intro offer, so it's 6 sessions across 21 days, and it's $60, and that is a great little taste tester for people to go, okay, can I feel the difference? Can I see where this is going to be able to take me in my health and fitness journey? And most people fall in love with it. And I feel like with the media at the moment, it's in such a growth.
It's kicking off, isn't it?
It's in such a growth area. But when we opened up 10 years ago, we were only really kind of like the second reformer studio on the Gold Coast. And that was, we opened up in Miami just down the road. 5 years ago, we moved that Miami studio to Burleigh, to a bigger space, more reformers, all that sort of thing. The industry's just growing and growing.
Oh, definitely. What actually drew you to Pilates, though, to be an instructor? Like, where were you in your life when you decided to choose that as your career?
Well, my career has spanned a few years. As I said, I actually started back in the 90s. We called it aerobics. So I started as an aerobics instructor. When I was at high school, I did my aerobics module and my weights and resistance module, and haven't looked back. Over the years, I've done many roles in the fitness industry. Obviously took a break from teaching over that 34 years. But in the last probably 10, I've really, since I opened up Pilates Co, I've really gotten back into my teaching. I did a mat work course back in the late 90s. And back then I knew, this is just, reformer wasn't around at that point. The reformer machine was around, but reformer classes were not.
Yeah.
And just with my travels, I've lived overseas, a few different places, seeing where the growth was, also knowing that teaching reformer is actually really great on the body as a teacher. Like, you're not actually doing every single movement yourself.
Yeah.
You've got to be very good at verbally teaching a class. For me, a lover of teaching fitness over the years, your body can't take the physical forever. The teaching,
although we all wish it would.
20 plus classes a week. I wouldn't be able to do that at the age of 50.
No.
So,
but it's good that you're still involved in the classes and you are still teaching classes here and there, because a lot of business owners, they just, once they get their business established to a certain point, they step out of that. So to have people still have that honor of you as a teacher is just incredible.
Yeah, I think it's, at this point in my career, I can have the choice of what I want to do. And I know that I'm quite good at teaching classes, probably than some of the admin stuff. And that's where my husband and I complement each other quite well. He does still teach as well, but I teach more than him and he focuses a little bit more on the business side. It's good at the age of 50 to be able to go, okay, I work very hard, but this is what I want to do. And
You
pick and
still
choose a
enjoy
little
it.
bit. Yeah, working for yourself has the benefits of that.
Yeah. So what is the main difference with therapy fitness compared to the Pilates Co?
Well, we actually have many members that go to both.
Okay.
While they're different, they offer different fitness perspectives. They both complement each other quite nicely.
Mm-hmm.
I always describe Pilates Co as very light and airy, and a lot of natural light. Sure, we have music playing and the teacher's mic'd up. The therapy business is very immersive, as I've said. The music's loud, the lighting's dark. We talk to those two as really quite different fitness offerings, but great complements to each other.
Okay, perfect.
And for my workout week, I try and do 3 types of Pilates sessions at Pilates Co, whether it's a small group or a big group. And then I'll do the same in therapy. I'll try and get like 2 run lifts in where I'm on the treadmill and the lifting benches. And then I'll try and get a hot mat class in.
Can you run through again what type of classes there are at Therapy Fitness?
Yeah, so the run lift room is treadmills or bikes as your cardio, and then there's lifting benches.
Okay.
And then you've got the cycle studio. So think dancing on a bike. It's all rhythm cycle.
Nice.
Probably seen a little bit of that on social media.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Some pretty cool socials out there on cycle. And then the last room is the thing that's really in at the moment. It's the hot rooms, the hot mat.
And what do you do in that room?
So we do in that room, we call it our connect space. We do a class called Yang. So it's a little bit more kind of faster paced mat work.
Yeah. The opposite to yin yoga, I'm assuming. Yeah.
We also do a yin actually.
Okay, beautiful.
Connect yin. So we're slower. There's all again music led to the beat, but we do some slow holds in that yin class.
Yeah. So imagine.
Yeah. Nice for recovery, hot room. We do a strong class in heat. Mm-hmm. So on the mat with dumbbells, again to the beat. And then we do a breath work in that space as well. So there's a couple of different types of breath work we do and a few different combinations all in the heat. That's just excuse the pun, but it is the hottest room at the studio at the moment.
It is pumping. Everyone wants to get in on that class.
Just come from actually participating in a Yang.
Straight from the class onto the bed.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, there was not one mat free at 9:15 in the morning. So normally that kind of 9:15 slot can be more of a quieter slot at therapy.
Okay.
People love to train early morning, but over the last 2.5 years, we've managed to fill that market. The mums is normally that time slot. And the other fantastic thing about therapy is we have a smoothie bar.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, we have 4 main smoothies and they're all named after the feel-good hormones. So endorphin, dopamine, that sort of thing.
Love that.
Cool little offering. We do lots of events at both businesses, in fact.
Yeah.
And retreats. We're about to go to Bali in November.
Oh, so even better. Yeah. Those retreats in Bali are absolutely incredible. They're so good.
Second Bali retreat.
Yeah.
And we've done a lot around this area. So Hinterland, Spices retreats. Ballina was the most recent one. Byron's coming up in March next year. So
I love that.
The business,
You just spoke briefly about the different hormones. You've got your endorphins, your serotonin, things like that.
Yes.
We all know that exercise is so good for our fitness and our health. But what I love about it is how it changes our mental health. Can you speak to me a little bit more about that as to how that happens, or if you see it personally happening with people that come in?
Yeah, and I think we're so quick to want to see the physical, and the fitness industry has done a very poor job at that over the years of marketing. The bikini body, shed the kilos, the before and after photos with challenges. Whereas we really do talk to the individual now with the different health types that we have. Not everyone's going to have those physical changes so quickly, or you might have perimenopausal woman who is doing the same amount of activity as the 25-year-old and not getting any results.
Yeah.
At both businesses, we try to educate our members to go, look, we're all different. We're all different health types, upbringings and so forth. What we ultimately want to go for throughout our fitness journey is the mental health aspect. And, you know, post-COVID, we saw a lot of that with people's mental health decreasing hugely, and
Yeah.
we had to keep people moving because gyms were closed. So many things were closed. I think of some countries in the world and even the southern states of Australia where they weren't able to go and do anything.
Yeah.
I dread to know the stats on mental health and suicide. We try to work on that. First and foremost, how is movement going to make you feel?
Yeah, because it's so impactful. I think we do really take it for granted how much it can improve mental health. But also, I find nowadays there's so many health issues on the rise. You see more and more women with endometriosis, PCOS, thyroid issues, so many endless amounts of issues.
Yeah.
But I also feel like we're just not moving as much as what we should either. With technology and the way that the world has just become, there are a lot of people out there that have just succumbed to that and have gotten a little bit lazy with that. So it's not always about, as you said, getting that bikini body, feeling nice and muscly and all the aesthetic side of it. It is more than that. So I love that you really gauge that aspect of it with the people that come into the business.
I think I brought up in the 80s and the 90s where our mums were on the latest Weight Watchers diet, or the set of scales were in the bathroom all the time and you were made to hop on the scales.
Yeah, it was that big diet culture, wasn't it?
Very big diet culture. And for me, with my daughters and even my son, to a certain extent, I really want to make sure that fueling them is the most important thing, and moving and not worrying so much about the size, and that could come naturally with the amount of activity they're doing and making them feel good about themselves and positive body images.
Oh, 100%. We've got the same rule in our house. If we're feeling a little bit plump, I might say, or a little bit sluggish, we don't ever mention that out loud. We always transfer it onto how it's making us feel. We want to feel stronger. We want to feel happier. So we sort of outlay that image of exercising to my child, because we don't want them to be brought up being so image conscious, especially in this day and age with social media being so prevalent. It's horrible for them.
Absolutely. Look, at both businesses, we do a team class as well. So we talk a lot about body positivity and getting them moving, and have a number of kids that are doing different sports and they're using that as a compliment. But I also have a number of kids that are not doing any sports and their parents are really struggling to get them moving. But coming to a space like Pilates Co or therapy, it feels a little bit more of a safe space. There's no ego, there's no perfection, but it's just, let's move to music. Let's get you feeling good about yourselves. You know, this is not the classroom at school where I'm going to tell you off. It's really just enjoying the movement and feeling good for it and working to improve their posture, of course, because they're sitting for long hours of the day, looking over screens and phones and not doing their shoulders or their spines any favors. But when I do talk to the teens that I teach, I sort of talk to that, like getting them moving better and feeling better. And geez, if that was around when I was a kid, I would have just snapped that up
right away. And I guess it's just the way that we were brought up. We were never really told of how much physical exercise can help us mentally. So I love that that's more of a focus nowadays, for sure.
Well, you know, we were also running around outside lots more, weren't we?
We were.
Playing with the kids in the streets. I see that decreasing with my kids especially.
Yeah, you've got the electric bike and all those sorts of things popping up. So there's not as much exercise as what there used to be. I'm going to check in on your skin quickly. How's that feeling? So we've just finished the hydrofacial. Popped a nice hydrating mask over the top of it. So what we're going to do now, as you can hear me mixing up, is pop the alginated mask over the top of that, and that'll just help to lock in the moisture, okay? So your skin is going to feel so nice and soft after this. You're not going to be able to recognize yourself.
Soaking it all up.
With your classes, do you have different, I guess, levels that people can choose? So you've got, obviously, your physical abilities, and they all differ from person to person. But then you've got things like different parts of your cycle where your energy levels deplete.
Yeah.
You've got people entering perimenopause and menopause that may not realize they're entering that stage as yet, but they can feel the changes within their bodies. So do you cater for those sorts of things?
Definitely. I think the beauty with Pilates Co is if I have someone that's feeling like maybe they've just fallen pregnant, or maybe they do have an injury, and we do see these little niggles pop up with perimenopause and menopause. The hormone levels are changing and so forth, and shoulder niggles come in, and maybe they're not able to be in the larger group setting for a period of time. So what's amazing with Pilates Co, we have this capability of moving you into a small group for a little while. And I do that a lot with my clients that they may be injured due to a sport, or, like I said, pregnancy or whatever. And instead of being in that big group where it is effectively a program that sort of, it could cater for all beginners for 50 minutes, or it could be an intermediate for 50 minutes. If they're not able to be in that setting just because it's not right for their body, then we move them into this small group of 3 people, where in that small group I could have 3 completely different people, but I'm doing a different program for each one. So I think we're one of the very few on the coast that do small group clinical setting.
That makes such a difference.
Yeah. It's affordable. It's not what you pay for a private, which a private could be upwards of $100 for a 50-minute session. Our small groups are more around that $50 mark. So you could honestly feel like you are getting a private for that.
Right.
The way that it's laid out.
Value, yeah.
Pilates Co, we have so many different types of classes, from the teens to the seniors classes to beginners, all levels, that there's definitely a class for everyone there. In the therapy side of things, most classes cater for all levels.
Yeah.
But you are in a bigger class setting, so some of those classes could have 40 people in them. So it won't be specifically designed for your body perfectly. You know what I mean? But we will give modifications where we can.
And you mentioned something earlier about active minds. So for those at home that haven't heard of that before, can you explain what that is on the Gold Coast?
Oh, I think, did I talk about Active and Healthy?
Active and Healthy.
Yeah, the Active and Healthy program is a Gold Coast City Council program. It's been going for quite a while. Like, we've been one of their providers for about 8 years now. And it's affordable fitness classes, utilising the parks, the community centres. I've been teaching for the last 6 years a class at the beach here at North Burleigh.
Oh, what a beautiful backdrop.
It's unfortunately yesterday it was raining, so I didn't get to do it. And it's Mondays at 9 a.m. just north of the North Burleigh Surf Club, and I can get up to 50 people in it. It's $5.
Yeah.
You get a free coffee at Nectar.
Stop.
I know.
Oh.
People just love it. I get such a wide variety of ages, and they're just so grateful for a mat Pilates fusion style workout in the outdoors for $5 with a coffee.
And that's Mondays at what time?
Mondays 9 a.m.
Mondays 9 a.m.
Yeah.
All right, I want to get on that.
But we've got about 7 across the coast, all the way up at Pimpama Community Hub down to Elanora. But the Gold Coast City Council Active and Healthy program had hundreds of classes. Like, for you to look it up online, it's such a great program. The lady that runs it, Sam Hughes, she's just this amazing woman that is an ex-runner.
Okay,
Very sporty herself, but she is very passionate about keeping the Gold Coast moving at an affordable price point.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
Because everything's just getting so expensive nowadays. Yeah.
And look, I definitely have people that say I can't afford your studios. And so we automatically have that opportunity for them to go, okay, we'll come along to one of our Active and Healthy, or check out all the classes on Active and Healthy.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a really, really great initiative. And it's one of my highlights of my week, actually, that I actually start my working week most times, if it's not raining, out in the sun with a whole lot of humans that are just all happy to be there.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's a great program. Therapy also Emma, my business partner, runs one on a Friday at the same location.
Okay.
At 9:15. There's a lot happening on the waterfront here between Burleigh and
there's so much going on. It's the best place to exercise. Do you have a favorite sequence that you want to share with everyone? Like, what is something that just gets you excited and gets that blood pumping?
Anything that involves the spine moving, really, like
Mm.
even across the weekend when I'm away camping, I normally have a little kind of go-to for my back and my spine and a stretch of the glutes. I think if you don't have any equipment and you're at home or you're traveling on holiday, there's so much you can still do in a hotel room or in the park or on the beach. For me, just being in 4-point kneeling and cat-cowing the spine, and then going into down dog, a couple of yoga poses, really. If you've got any back pain, which I do have that come across my desk and my studio many times, people with
so
back
much.
pain, yeah.
Yeah.
Activating those back muscles and your core muscles and stretching out the glutes are probably some of the best go-tos people can do. So cat-cow, 4-point kneeling into Superman to activate the core, just the arm and leg extending into a pigeon pose or a down dog or a figure four glute stretch. Like those are my kind of ones to get everything moving in the morning.
Right.
Or if you're traveling, it's just a really good go-to.
Yeah. So you do a lot, obviously, with your body. I could assume that when you are training, you're breaking out a little bit of a sweat as well, because when you're teaching, you're also quite immersive.
Yeah.
You can jump in any class that you like to. Is there anything else that you do for yourself? Any little rituals you might do for your skin or just your general health and wellness?
I am definitely a very big advocate of taking care of the skin with supplements, with facials. I also see a naturopath.
Oh, beautiful.
So I get herbs, all that sort of stuff. So I do believe you've got to really take care of yourself when your body is your job.
Yeah.
You've really got to work the insides and the outsides. Doing P3, the hot cold and the infrared saunas.
Perfect. Yeah.
That's another one of my go-tos. A regular facial, seeing the naturopath for acupuncture. I'm not saying I do all of those every week, but there's a combo of all of that stuff that has to happen.
You're all across it. Yeah. And you don't have to do these things weekly.
Yeah.
As long as you incorporate them on a gentle routine monthly, you're getting really good benefits out of it. So I really enjoy the fact that you do take care of your body, but you also take care of your inner health at the same time.
Yeah.
Do you have like a really good rewarding transformation journey from one of your clients that you'd like to share?
Oh gosh, so many. There's like a beautiful couple that I see up at our bundle studio. They've been practicing, they're both in their 70s. They've both been practicing Pilates for well over 10 years. And those two do not move like a couple in their 70s. And they don't behave like that either. They behave
still
very
so young at heart.
Yeah. And then when I train them, they're just happy and in love with each other. And they move really well, So from a falls prevention perspective and just leading a happy life into their elder years, that one for me always gets me every week when I train them.
Yeah.
It's
inspiration, It's like, that's what I want to be when I reach that age.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. One of my clients who I trained here at Burleigh, she was in a lot of pain when she came to me with sciatica post-birth of both of her children, really. She suffered with bad sciatic pain.
Okay.
And she's an ex-dancer when she was younger, so physically able, but when the sciatic nerve reacts, it really does.
It immobilizes you, really.
Yeah. So we got her back moving. We got some great release work happening. She still sees me twice a week and then also comes to 1 or 2 big groups. She's one of those clients that I can literally throw anything at and she'll do it. So she's another highlight of my week. So kind of 2 opposite ends of the scale there, but
I love that.
Probably another 10 I could talk about quite easily. Yeah, when we as a business have a positive feedback that comes through, and I do get a lot of texts from clients when they do a class with one of my teachers, or we get a good review on Google or online, we share that amongst our teacher group, seeing the highs, and then we learn from the lows, of course. But
of course,
small business works very well with those positive feedbacks that you can share around. And
I love that.
Yeah.
So if someone wanted to start out on their Pilates Co journey, but they obviously felt a little bit intimidated, maybe they haven't exercised for quite some time, what would you recommend for them? How do they begin?
Well, there's a couple of options there because it depends if they have got anything that needs to be addressed. They're currently seeing a physio or doctors then it might be a small group or a private setting that's
Okay.
needed. But if they are physically all doing good and it's just time off of exercise, then doing our 6 for 60 is going to be the perfect place to start, to see if our studio aligns with them and that they like our way of teaching.
It's like a little trial period for you and them. Yeah.
We do the same intro offer. We do $5.55 at therapy. So those 2 intro packs are a great way to test drive us out. We work through a couple of different classes, always start in a beginner, and then if that just feels too easy, adventure into some other all levels classes.
Love it.
We also offer a free intro class to someone who's never been on the reformer before. So that often for the people out there that really need the detail and a slower start, that runs at each studio once a week.
Yeah. And I can definitely vouch for the fact, like, when starting on reformer, I was like, how am I going to balance on this thing? Like, I'm going to fall off and make an ass of myself.
Yes.
Or if I just did it at home to begin with. But it's not as daunting as what you think. Like, the beds or the tables are just so sturdy and they can really hold, like, because you're in all kinds of positions. It really does hold you into place, which is good.
Yeah, we have an online library of classes as well. So over COVID, we had to sort of pivot really quickly, as a lot of businesses did. So our library's got over 200 classes on it now.
Oh, how do you access that?
Yeah, so we have, our members can access it for free.
Okay.
One of my members just went away this week for 5 weeks to Europe and took her little kit with her of ball, TheraBand, booty band pack, and she's just going to do our classes online while she's away. But we also have a whole bunch of reformer classes too. So I'll make sure you've got access to that so that you can have a little...
Is that just on the website? Like,
yeah, you can go via the website to join up for our online classes.
Because I must say, I have just been YouTubing and winging it. So it'd be nice to have actual professionals telling you what to do from start to finish.
Yep, we still add to that library, even though everyone's back in studio now. We feel like it's such a great offering for people to, whether it's on holidays or they're just home stuck or affordability, it's still a great tool for us.
Yeah, it is definitely. So you've got your online resources, you've got your in-person classes, you've got Pilates Co, therapy, fitness. What's next?
Well, we're always searching for new sites. We're really in a growth phase at the moment, both businesses, especially therapy. Our business partners there are really like motivated to get the next site open. So a little bit tougher to find therapy sites than Pilates Co.
Yeah.
We're in that growth phase right now with probably another 8 years of schooling left for our children. So we're still in that phase of nowhere near retirement. Put it that way.
I mean, you've already got a fair few studios. So you've got 4 of the Pilates Co, which is Burleigh, Bundle, Robina, and the Pimpama one, which is new. I love that because that's at my end of the coast. And then you got therapy, which is at Mermaid. So it covers quite a lot of the area of the Gold Coast, definitely. Would you go interstate?
If it came up, for sure. Yeah. We'd maybe look at some of the more populated areas for therapy, more so than Pilates Co.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. All right, checking in with your skin. How's that feeling now?
Feels amazing.
Yeah, it's just drinking in all that hydration. Definitely.
Like way less dry.
Yes. I have put a little bit of SPF on you, so you're protected for a good hour or so. It is sunny again today on the coast, thank gosh.
Yeah.
It's just so up and down with the weather that we're having, seriously. Can't make up its mind. Pouring down rain yesterday.
For the first day of spring.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Welcome to the Gold Coast. Well, that's all we have time for today, unless you wanted to add in anything else that we may have forgotten, Rose.
No, thank you so much for the opportunity to talk about our businesses.
Absolutely, most welcome. I'm glad we're able to share this type of health and wellness with the rest of the coast for sure. And for those that aren't close by to the Gold Coast, pop online to that website and do your online classes as well with the resources. Love it. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
And everybody listening at home, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time on the next episode of Kind Inside the Treatment Room.